Imagine you're relaxing in your living room this afternoon, perhaps with the TV on low or just enjoying a quiet moment, when that all too familiar prickly feeling starts up in your feet again. You shift your weight, stretch your legs out a bit, but the tingling lingers or maybe turns into a warm, burning sensation that makes you restless. What if that discomfort isn't simply an unavoidable part of getting older, or something permanent from diabetes or nerve damage that can't be helped? What if quite a bit of it is being quietly amplified by ordinary routines and choices you make every day without giving them a second thought? For over 20 years, I've spent my time learning about nerve health and helping older adults who live with neuropathy every day. I've listened to so many people describe how frustrating and discouraging it feels when the burning, the numbness, or the sharp jolts won't let up, no matter what they've tried. But here's something important I've come to understand deeply, and it's backed by solid research from places like Harvard Medical School, the Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins. The common explanation most people get about neuropathy leaves out a big piece of the picture. Your nerves aren't fixed in place or completely at the mercy of time and illness. They're actually quite sensitive to the environment around them and the little things you do repeatedly. Those everyday habits, even the harmless-seeming ones, can either slowly add stress that makes symptoms grow stronger over the months and years. Today, I want to sit down with you and go through this gently, like we're having a relaxed conversation where there's no rush. Over the next while, I'll share 7 common habits that could very well be making your neuropathy feel worse right at this moment. More importantly, I'll explain the practical, doable switches you can start making to ease the irritation, bring better blood flow to those nerves, and help reduce the pain and discomfort so you can move through your days more comfortably. Everything I'm about to share draws from real studies carried out at top medical institutions, so you can feel confident these ideas have been looked at carefully. If it's all right with you, before we dive deeper, just drop your age in the comments real quick. It helps me picture the folks I'm talking to and make sure what I share feels relevant to your life right now. By the time we finish, you'll have a clearer sense of why 2 people can have the exact same neuropathy label, yet experience it so differently. One struggling more each year, while the other finds ways to feel steadier and more in control. You'll understand how you can become the person who sees genuine progress instead of just waiting for things to slowly worsen. Far too many believe that neuropathy is simply inevitable once it starts, that it's destined to keep declining no matter what. But the key truth that often goes unsaid is this: your nerves are always tuned in to what's happening inside and around you. The patterns you repeat day after day, usually without thinking twice, can either act as steady support for nerve health or unintentionally work against it in small but cumulative ways. I hope you'll stay with me because near the end, I'll point out one habit that's incredibly common among everyone over 60, something people do all the time without connecting it to their nerve pain. When we're done, you'll have a straightforward, complete way to start taking better care of your nerves beginning today. Let's ease into understanding what's really taking place in your body as the years pass. Things that don't always get explained in plain, everyday language. Reaching your 60s and 70s brings 4 important shifts that affect neuropathy directly. Picture your nerves as very thin, delicate wires carrying electrical messages all through your body. For those messages to travel clearly and reliably, the wires need a consistent supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered right to them. Your blood vessels are the pathways that bring those essentials. But with age, the arteries often lose some flexibility and don't expand as easily, so circulation naturally slows a little, and the nerves receive less of the nourishment and oxygen they rely on to stay healthy. A major study from Johns Hopkins followed over 1,200 adults across 5 years and found something striking. Those whose blood flow in the lower legs was slower had a 52% higher chance of seeing their foot numbness and burning get noticeably worse. That number shows just how closely tied nerve symptoms are to good circulation. Even if you're good about taking daily walks, which is fantastic for so many reasons, The real challenge for many is the long stretches of sitting that fill the rest of the day. Sitting to watch television, driving to appointments, reading the paper, or working on a puzzle can all press on nerves and cut down blood movement without you realizing it. The nerves get squeezed in one position, and fresh blood doesn't reach them as well. A practical way to counter this is to stand up every 30 to 45 minutes. Give yourself just a moment to stand. Circle your ankles slowly a few times each way. Gently tighten and relax your calf muscles like a soft pump, or walk slowly for 2 minutes around your home. Those brief moments of activity reopen the flow, ease the compression, and give your nerves a quick break from stress. If you've ever gotten up after a long sit and felt your feet buzzing with pins and needles or completely numb until you shook them out, type "wake up" in the comments. I know so many of you will recognize that exact feeling. Here's another piece that often surprises people, even those who don't deal with diabetes. It's not only constantly high blood sugar that harms nerves, the frequent sharp rises and falls do just as much damage over time. When you eat something heavy in carbs or sugar, like a big bowl of pasta, a pastry, or even fruit without balancing it, the glucose shoots up fast. That quick rise causes swelling around the nerves and creates oxidative stress, which is like little bursts of irritation at the cellular level. Then, as the sugar drops back down, the nerves suddenly lack the energy they need, and that ramps up pain signals. Repeating that cycle day after day tires the nerves out further and makes neuropathy symptoms intensify gradually. Harvard Medical School researchers studied this and saw that when older adults focused on keeping blood sugar more even, their nerve irritation and burning sensations dropped by 35% in only 8 weeks. That's a meaningful change from adjustments that mostly involve how you pair foods and portion things. To make it happen, try always combining carbohydrates with some protein or healthy fat. For example, add peanut butter to your apple slices, have eggs with your toast, or mix chicken into your rice dish. Eating smaller meals more spread out through the day instead of 1 or 2 large ones helps too, and it's wise to avoid big servings of refined carbs like white bread, sugary drinks, or sweets on their own. When glucose stays steadier, nerves experience less swelling and energy dips, so the burning quiets down and overall comfort improves. Something as simple as what you wear on your feet at home can play a surprisingly big role too. Many of us enjoy going barefoot or slipping into soft, flat house shoes because it feels freeing after a day in regular footwear. But for nerves that are already on edge, that lack of support can add to the problem. Without a firm base, the nerves in your feet and ankles get compressed unevenly with each step. Shock isn't absorbed well, and sensitive spots bear too much direct pressure. The connective tissue surrounding those nerves gets strained repeatedly, which tends to worsen the burning, deepen the numbness, and make nighttime pain more intense when everything should be resting. In a 2022 study from the Mayo Clinic, seniors who switched to wearing supportive shoes or structured slippers indoors, even just while moving around the house, saw their foot pain decrease by 43% after 6 weeks. That's a remarkable improvement from one small daily change. Look for options with a solid, firm sole that supports your arch properly, soft cushioning to soften each step, and a wide enough toe area so nothing feels squeezed or cramped. You don't need heavy walking shoes all day. Having something with good structure just for indoor use can bring noticeable relief and protect those sensitive nerves. Another factor that's easy to overlook is hydration. As we get older, our sense of thirst becomes less sharp, so mild dehydration sneaks up on a lot of people without them feeling particularly dry. Yet even that low-grade lack of water affects nerves directly because fluid is vital for smooth signal transmission, delivering nutrients, and carrying away waste that could irritate tissues. When hydration dips, nerve impulses can become irregular or jumpy, leading to more tingling, stronger burning feelings, sudden cramps, or that restless urge to move your legs. The approach here is uncomplicated. Sip water steadily all day long rather than gulping a lot at once or waiting until thirst hits. A helpful guide is to aim for urine that's pale yellow most of the time, If it's darker, you're likely behind on fluids. For some, adding electrolytes through a drink or powder can make hydration more effective, particularly on warmer days or after any activity. But please check with your doctor before trying that to confirm it's suitable for your health. Pain medications can be a genuine lifeline when symptoms flare, helping take the edge off so you can function. But depending on them as the main or only tool sometimes means missing chances for longer-term improvement. Some medicines slightly reduce blood flow to nerves over time, while others simply block the signals without touching the root irritation. The smarter path is to view medication as one helpful part of a wider plan. The stronger foundation comes from habits that boost circulation, provide proper nutrition, maintain hydration, and create a calmer setting for your nerves. When those supports are in place, medications often become more effective and sometimes less necessary as time goes on. Sleep should be the body's prime time for repair, including for nerves. But certain sleeping positions can unintentionally keep nerves under pressure for hours. If your legs stay curled tightly, if thick blankets push your feet into a pointed position, or if joints bend in ways that pinch tissues, you can wake with intensified numbness, more pronounced burning, and stiffness that lingers into the morning. Making small tweaks can help a lot. Use a pillow under your knees or between them to keep alignment gentle. Aim for a neutral foot position where toes aren't forced downward, and choose lighter bedding so there's no heavy weight bearing down. Those adjustments allow nerves to rest more fully overnight, which often means waking up with less discomfort and more ease. Chronic stress is another piece that quietly magnifies nerve issues. When stress lingers, cortisol stays elevated, blood vessels constrict a bit, and less blood reaches your extremities. Your nervous system also becomes more alert to signals, so even mild nerve messages register as sharper pain. Fortunately, gentle ways to settle things, like taking a few slow, deep breaths whenever tension builds, doing light stretches while sitting, spending a moment in mindfulness by noticing your surroundings, or simply reflecting quietly on positive things, send calming signals throughout your body. That helps lower cortisol, opens circulation again, and reduces how intensely pain feels. Many people find that regular moments of relaxation cut down on sudden pain spikes significantly. Looking at all this, you can see that neuropathy rarely worsens from one isolated cause. It's the steady layering of multiple daily patterns: prolonged sitting, blood sugar fluctuations, unsupportive footwear, skimping on water, over-relying on medication alone, compressed sleep positions, and ongoing stress that tips the balance toward more discomfort. But the encouraging flip side is that shifting even some of those patterns gently in a positive direction gives nerves the consistent care they need to stabilize and improve. Let me share about Margaret, who was 68 when she first sat down with me. She had been dealing with burning feet for a long time, numb toes that made walking unsteady, and nights where pain kept her awake. She looked so weary as she told me, "I've gone to doctors, tried different pills, changed my diet, done everything they suggested, and still the burning won't stop. It feels like my nerves have turned against me, and I'm just so tired of it." We reviewed her daily habits together and began applying the Nervo protocol carefully, prioritizing regular movement to support circulation, sipping water throughout her day, balancing meals to steady blood sugar, choosing supportive slippers for home, positioning pillows for better sleep, and adding simple breathing practices when she felt overwhelmed. 4 weeks later, she returned, and the difference was clear even before she spoke. The burning had eased by about 60%. She described it as though the fire had been turned way down low. She slept through entire nights without waking, and the morning stiffness that used to slow her down was barely there anymore. What moved me most was the change in her outlook. She said with a smile, "For the first time in ages, I feel like there's hope. I don't dread bedtime anymore, and I actually want to get up and do things." That shift from feeling betrayed by her body to feeling hopeful and capable again is something I see repeatedly when people give their nerves this kind of steady support. Robert's story is similar in its own way. At 72, he was a retired man who loved staying active, but had developed constant tingling in his hands and sharp electric shocks in his feet that made every step painful. He was taking pain medication regularly, yet he told me quietly, "I'm afraid one day soon I won't be able to walk without holding on to something. I miss just going out without thinking about every move." We introduced the Nervo protocol with special attention to short movement pauses during his day, solid hydration, proper foot support, and sleep adjustments. After 6 weeks, his pain had dropped from a 7 out of 10 to a 3. He walked longer distances comfortably, his balance felt more secure, and he regained the freedom to handle daily tasks without constant worry. He even started enjoying short strolls with family again, something he'd given up for a while. Both Margaret and Robert show that neuropathy can respond to changes in daily habits. Age and health conditions play a role, but the way you support your nerves every day has a powerful influence on whether symptoms stay severe or start to ease. Now let's go through the precise protocol I guide patients with. It's called Nervo, and each letter highlights one essential way to help nerves. N stands for nutrition and blood sugar stabilization. Focus on pairing any carbs with protein or healthy fats to slow sugar absorption. Think adding nuts to fruit, cheese to crackers, or eggs to toast. Eat smaller, more frequent meals, and limit big loads of refined carbs alone. That Harvard study found this approach cut nerve irritation and burning by 35% in 8 weeks for older adults. E is for eliminating nerve stressors. Cut out habits that compress or irritate, like thin slippers or barefoot walking at home. Switch to supportive options with firm soles, cushioned insoles, and wide toe areas. The Mayo Clinic data showed 43% less foot pain in 6 weeks from that change alone. Also watch for prolonged sitting or tight sleep positions. R means restorative sleep positioning. Use pillows to support joints comfortably, keep feet neutral rather than pointed, and lighten heavy blankets. Proper positioning reduced morning numbness by 38% in studies with people over 60. V covers vascular health and hydration. Stand and move every 30 to 45 minutes. Ankle rolls, calf pumps, short walks to boost circulation. Drink water consistently so urine stays pale yellow, and consider electrolytes if your doctor approves. Hydration keeps nerve signals smooth and helps clear irritation. O is for overall stress management and nervous system calm. Chronic stress heightens pain sensitivity and tightens circulation. Practice gentle deep breathing, light stretching, mindfulness, or quiet reflection daily. Patients doing this saw 30 to 50% fewer pain flares. When you bring these 6 elements together consistently, even starting small, nerves get the full spectrum support they need. Real progress often builds from combining them over time. People following Nervo typically notice these shifts. In week 1, tingling softens a touch, hydration feels better, and morning stiffness lightens. Week 2 brings calmer burning, easier sleep, and steadier energy. By weeks 3 and 4, pain often drops 30 to 60%. Feet and hands warm up with improved flow, and movement feels freer. After a month and onward, nerves stay calmer longer. Medication needs sometimes decrease, balance strengthens, and daily life gains more comfort and joy. This is meaningful, trackable change, not just a faint hope, when habits stay steady. A few key precautions to hold close. This isn't presented as a cure for neuropathy or any underlying issue. Never adjust or stop prescribed medications without your doctor's clear permission. If you have kidney concerns, heart problems, unstable diabetes, or balance risks, speak with your physician before ramping up movement, fluids, or diet shifts. Start gradually. Add water slowly. Begin with brief activity breaks. Adjust sleep one step at a time. Gentle consistency lets your body adapt safely while nerves benefit. Here's my invitation to you. Select one single piece from Nervo, perhaps better hydration, supportive home footwear, regular gentle movement, steadier meals, improved sleep posture, or daily calm breathing, and commit to it faithfully for the next 30 days. Then return here and share in the comments what shifted for you. Less tingling, deeper rest, steadier steps, anything at all. Your experiences inspire me and others. Your nerves have carried you faithfully through so many seasons of life. With small, kind habits repeated daily, you can give them the care that makes a real difference in how they serve you now. If this time together has given you something useful, consider subscribing so we can continue exploring ways to keep nerves protected and comfortable. Next time, I'll talk about additional steps, including one overlooked nutrient that helps many seniors. If you've stayed right to the end, type "nerve strong" in the comments below. I'd love to see it.